Lisa Nelson, dance maker e performer di improvvisazione, è pioniera nella Contact Improvisation. Da oltre 30 anni lavora sulla composizione in tempo reale, associata al senso dell'immaginare. Go, lo spettacolo presentato al Now Performing Festival, è il risultato di uno dei workshop dedicati alla danza di improvvisazione, E20 Scores. Lisa, l'improvvisazione è per definizione un'evoluzione spontanea di azioni. Quando parliamo di lavoro di improvvisazione, qual è esattamente il confine tra la programmazione del lavoro e la spontaneità?
One way to approach that question is to talk about the activity of observing. And I had spent some time looking at the activity of observing, not just dance, but just in daily life, and I became aware that watching something or observing something is a very basic improvisation, and we watch it, we follow our sense of meaning when we're looking at something. We take instructions from what is before us, and we make decisions about where we put our attention. And the tuning scores are tools to make explicit to each other a kind of decision making. In much of improvised dance, that those decisions are quiet. You don't really know why the dancer is making decisions. And my need was to hear from other dancers what they were looking at, in fact, in order to make decisions in a choreographic way. How do you make decisions with movement? And so it's an improvisational activity that's taken from the daily activity of looking at something. But the dancer is looking both at the inside and the outside simultaneously. So in a way, there are no borders between the activity of doing and the activity of observing.
Possiamo definire i tuning scores, da uno dei quali è nato questo spettacolo Go, e qual è stato il peso della presenza di Scott Smith e Claire Filmon?
So, essentially, the tuning scores are a set of tools for communication. They're also an extrapolation. They come from the dialogue that goes on with oneself and one's body and the environment. And the set of tools, there are many ways to apply the tools, and the performances this evening are an application of those tools to share with an audience the mechanism of looking at dance. And in the workshops, we work with the same processes and become aware of, each of us becomes aware or has time to practice becoming aware of these levels of shifting attention in our own bodies and in relation to others. Scott Smith and I started working together 20 years ago with a group of two other dancers, just exploring how the tools affected the dance. And 10 years ago, Scott and I made a very simple form as a duet that we have practiced for many years. Claire has joined us in these last weeks. She studied in some workshops 10 years ago and has been applying those tools to her own studies. But this is the first time the three of us have worked together with the tools. So the tools themselves are it's a learning tool. So we are in the process of learning in the performance. And the most important desire for making a theatrical presentation out of a demonstration of this process is to activate in the other observers, the audience, the same process of noticing your way of making sense out of what is in front of you.
L'arte contemporanea è in continua evoluzione. Ci sono elementi di questo percorso evolutivo sui quali è più difficile lavorare per creare nuovi linguaggi.
I think that the desire is always to get more simple. So we start the world of choices in terms of making composition spontaneously is very big, and the job is to narrow down, to keep getting simpler and simpler and simpler. That's really the desire. At least it's my desire. I don't think things could get more can ever get more complex, because just living in a body is so complex. Just surviving is so complex. So the development is towards simplicity, and I think that never, you can never achieve. You're always approaching becoming more simple.